right, we about to get this started. Let me see. I think I need to do one more thing. Let me see. Peace, everybody. I think I need to do one more thing. Hold on. Let me see. What's up?
Done? Or you just getting started?
Yep, you're ready to start.
Oh.
It's long. I hope everybody got their pencils and their papers. Because what we're going to do, just like when you start off, I told you we're going to do these classes just like you were in college, for you can follow along. So today, for all the students, because I said I wasn't going to do any more lies, but one of my elders asked me to please share this for a lot of the so-called Moorish that say they study Moorish science, for they can see what they're missing. So I said I'm going to do that. So this is going to be the only class that's going to be viewed for the public. Any of my students that's not on here, I'm going to email it to you. But for all my students, we're going to go over the entry of everything. We're going to go over our chapter 1 of our Moorish Quran. I hope your Moors, all the members, got your SO Science book. See, this is what I'm telling Moors they're going to be missing. Your Quranic study guide, your catechism for understanding the Moorish Holy Quran, your Moorish literature, your PDF unto thee I grant, which our Moorish Quran is constructed off of, when Moors be dissing our masonry, but they don't know any science. But we're going to leave that alone because we're going to teach systematically the mysteries of the silent brotherhood of the East. And then I got a bonus book that I'm going to send to my nobles. It's to discover the key to the Moorish questionnaire. So when Moors say they studying Moorish science and they studying systematically, the first thing you got to ask them, who they're studying with, what lesson plans they having, and what are you doing? Most people that say they studying Moorish science is having church. Because you must study Moorish science systematically. So with that being said, we're going to get, I'm going to do our Moorish prayer as soon as I get this started. And I'll do our benediction. And we're going to get right to the teaching. Let me get some libations. I'm thirsty. See, Moors, I'm telling you, it's a difference from Moorish science and then just garbage. And we must teach our children. That's why I told every Moor, if you're one of my students, you don't have to ask what book to have. Just like Noble, you post your son, just like you post your son, got the Miseducation of the Negro. And I was saying, every book that you want your son to learn systematically, we have them in our library. So we don't have to give Amazon money. We can support our own temple and school. The books through us, we ask for a higher fee for a donation, but it's tax exempt because you're helping build our ministry. And that's what this is all about. So today I'm going to show a lot of Moors that's not students what you're going to miss systematically. And today will be the first and last teaching. So we can see how Moorish science will be taught on a systematic basis. So with that being said, of course, they tell you in temples to face your east. But I'm going to show you in higher science as we go on at the teachings, you're already in the East. I'm going to show you have 5 on the left, 2 on the right, and your heels come together at the 45-degree angle. This is just a sign and symbol. It doesn't mean nothing if the vessel is not right. So Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam. So our benediction. May the benison of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as we all should strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow the acts of love upon all our brothers and sisters, and we all should do our best to shun all evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that we all might nourish the souls of all men, women, and children. Let the truth be thy shield in the manifest battles of falsehood. Knoweth that we need not pick the lock to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft. For behold, Moors, the key to salvation already rests within our own hands, Moors. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, inconsistency, there is still the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah, may Buddha, may Confucius, whatever name you give him, glorified. May it lengthen your age. May it give you everlasting peace. But another book I was telling Moorish that's expensive on Amazon that you might not can get anymore. When I tell Moors, I teach all my children history first. It's this one. It's called The Golden Age of the Moors by Ivan Van Sertima. And I print this on my print press. So I like to always be historical when I teach, especially when I teach my children. And when I tell a lot of people that, no disrespect to no one, but my empresses, my cousins, and my mother, they know more history than a lot of Moors, because you just follow people and you're not studying systematically. You're not studying historically. This is peer-reviewed scholarly research. These are a lot of things that were written in history that we don't know, like Sheikh Anta Diop, things that can't be denied. In history, the meaning of words, how more was just stripped away from your language and buried in books. So, as we teach this science and this Moorish science, we must understand what our Prophet Noble Drew Ali stated. We must understand the first thing, when we have to correct people, when they disrespect the teachings. Hey, brother, is Brother James on here? Because Brother James sent me an email. I don't even want to, I got to say this before I even get into the teachings. I'm sorry, y'all, because I was laughing when I read this. And I'm going to always be current. So James Bay was on here like he was at Walmart. He got stares. And I told Morris, you're going to always get stares when you wear your fez on, because people are going to be like, whoa, do he know what he have on his head? And do he know the power that's drawing and the vibrations when they see an Asiatic man with his fez on, or with a Moorish American with his fez on, not in clandestine? A lot of questions you're going to ask. A lot of people are going to ask you, are you shrine? A lot of Europeans are going to come up to you and shake your hand and going to be like, thank you for the work that you do. Because they're going to be thinking that you are a shriner. And so that's why I say you got to be ready for this. That's why I say you must be a student of these teachings. When I travel abroad and when I see Europeans, Negro, black, and colored, and they ask me, oh, thank you for your work, are you a shriner? I politely tell them exactly what I am and why I wear this fez and what it represents from love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I'm telling you, they know more than this fez than you do. They may act stupid, but when you respond, they're going to know you don't know anything about your fez. And see, only an intelligent person can act stupid. An idiot cannot act smart. So if you're wearing this fez prematurely and someone started questioning you about it and you don't even know how to respond, you don't know how to respond eloquently in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, then you should take your fez off, because it don't mean nothing to you and you playing. So people should stare at you. People should stare at you all day with a fez on. I love the stares. They should. Because they see that strength. And they figuring, do you know what you have on your head? That's the first step. So the next step is understanding the colors and everything and the symbology on this Moorish Holy Quran. That's why I said we be want something. And I said we must be educated on things first. Because see, we want to be entertained. And I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to educate you. That's why when you look at comedians, they always can mock a preacher. You ever see them? They always mocking the preacher, doing all that goofy stuff. And it came off the rock. But they can never imitate a teacher. So we teach. So you must understand the science on this Moorish Quran. You must understand the science on this fez and this turban. The fez and the turban is our national headdress. And our religious headdress fall under national headdress, Moors. So the first thing I want to read to you guys is the science on the front of our Moorish Quran. If you got it, look at it and follow with me. Because we're introduction today. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. It was written in two different words. It don't matter. It's the same wisdom inside. So don't let nobody get you caught up in that. Divinely prepared by the noble prophet, Jurali. Keep these words in your head. Divinely prepared by the prophet, noble Jurali. Divinely by the guiding of his Father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stages of humanity, back to the highest plane of life with his Father God, Allah. That's right here. Every more I sent you the Quran. We're going to get all in this Quran. We're going to teach every chapter in this Quran. That's what school is going to do. You're going to learn this whole Moorish Quran. We got the whole books to break it down, and we study together. And see, you get people that's lazy. See, look, I had one more try to get the science and try to study on his own, and he's not an adept. You get a lot of Moors that give themselves titles. You look on their page and they call themselves sheiks and adepts. And I say, well, sheik in Moorish science, you're supposed to be an adept. You're supposed to understand and have a certain type of wisdom. You just can't self-anoint yourself. And so he got the books and he got the science. It was like Chinese to him, ISIS, because the spirit wasn't right. And I tell Moors, these are holy books. You're going into something with an ego or with your lower self, thinking you're finna outflick somebody, you done. Because the book's going to throw it up in your face. It's going to be like you drunk. It's going to throw up all in your face because you're going under the wrong ego.
In that study guide, it got a prayer.
That's right. That's right. It's our Quranic study guide. These lessons is spiritual. We fight in this physical world in the spiritual. So the first time we think we kind of operate in our lower ego and we're supposed to covenant with the right Moor, because I tell Moors, the temple is not a building. The temple is the body of people and the head that's delivering the science. Because we can teach anywhere. That's what the internet, this network is all about. And so that's why I said this first teaching is going to be for the public. After that, all my students, everything will be emailed to you systematically. So you don't have to worry about missing any teachings. So one thing I want to show you how Moors be lying on the prophet and just want to say stuff because they're not scientists and they never read anything. A lot of Moors just post pictures of books because that's what they do. When I talk about the unto thee I grant, this is one of our Rosicrucian manuals that our Moorish Quran is constructed of. If a lot of Moors don't understand that, they lost. When Moors diss our science, they lost. I'll be looking at Moors dissing masonry and things. I'm like, man, those are lower levels. Those not adepts. Because an adept, you must have a certain understanding of wisdom, especially the clock of destiny and the zodiac laws. I know Moors, you're not on a higher level. And so you must admit that. So don't be going on the internet showing your hand when you ain't even been in the game for a while. You showing your hand and you showing your ignorance. And that's what I be telling Moors. When you diss something and you give the credit to Europeans, and I say, no science came from the West. All science came from the East. And if you don't know that, then your wisdom is a tittle. Because 32 and 33 degrees in meteorology, that's when water freezes, Moors. That's snowman wisdom. That's why when a European or a Negro become shrine, that's the only time you wear the fez. So let's dig into the science of our teachings and deal with the science and get this garbage out of your head for the last time. We deal with the science. So the work of the infinite wisdom. Where my Moorish Akashic record book? It's in there somewhere, but I don't want to put it out. Don't worry about it, ISIS. But the work of the infinite wisdom is published as what? Remember I told y'all, Moors, the work of the infinite wisdom is now published as what? This is how I teach. That's what I tell Moors. If you follow, you must take notes because I'm going to test everybody. Everybody say they want to learn this. Oh, take me through the lessons. I said, man, I could go through these lessons in 1 week and cram them, and no more will know anything. So I'm going to test Moors. Just like when I was getting my bachelor's degree in business, I went to one of the hardest business schools in Michigan. And say if you got an A in your class, the teacher didn't care because he was like, he could have cheated. So what we had to do is do a capstone at the end of the class. So I had A's in all my classes. The professor was like, okay, now verbally tell me what you wrote on this paper to see if you can explain it to your people. See? So that's what I'm saying. So we're going to quiz on everything because we must know. And these teachers are universal. So the work in the infinite wisdom is now published as what? Unto thee I grant. The readings in the Holy Quran that diverge from unto thee I grant. It follows the infinite wisdom. In 2 instances that the Holy Quran diverges from both. In the first instance, enough of evil is allotted unto man, but he maketh it more while he lamenteth it. It's left out of chapter 44, verse 10. And in verse 19 of the same chapter, who remembereth himself in joy becomes who remembered themselves as a boy. And here is one more instance where Noble Drew Ali improves the original Moors. And chapter 19 to 44 of the Holy Quran are found in pages 19 to 63 of the Unto Thee I Grant and pages 27 to 102 of the Infinite Wisdom. Are you following me, students and members? This is how I said we correct these teachings. Moors don't know because they playing and they not studying nothing. And they got to be honest. Moors don't have literature. All Moors do is go on Google University. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Moors do not study. Moors talk about I study at home. That's not Moorish. You're supposed to covenant. It don't matter if you in Mississippi, Detroit, or Miami. We got the internet, baby. There's no excuses. See, Moors make excuses like they're getting ready to go to prison. But we don't got time for that. You say you a Moor, you say you want to learn science? Where he go to school, the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. What is our curriculum? More science. Anybody else, they piggybacking. And that's why I said, after today, it's over. But one of my elders asked me to please share these teachings with the public so they can see what they missing. So a lot of temples can see where they out of line, they not teaching nothing. You having church because no one is building. You collecting funds, nothing's happening. You're not building. You don't have a school. You don't have nothing. You just got a whole bunch of people coming together with a fez on, calling themselves sheiks, talking about you finna make somebody something. And you know the laws are going straight up against what you're talking about. The laws prove what we are. We're going to teach this in civics, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th Amendment, the difference from the Dred Scott Law, the difference from a 3/5 and a 5/5, proclaiming, declaring, and due process, the real truth of the AA22 number. But it's many accusations by people in various groups claiming that our prophet plagiarized the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple that was published in 1927. So we're going to correct this before we start with these teachings. We got to make this clear in the language we use when making accusations, because you may intentionally or unintentionally commit acts of libel or a defamation of character or defamation of character. Excuse me, Moors. Just as it is a crime to steal someone's work when you don't reference this the right way, it's a thing in scholarship where you must give credit to the author. You must reference it the right way. Or what you just did is plagiarize someone's work. And our prophet never said that this work was his original thoughts. He said it was gathered and compiled and divinely prepared, because nothing's new is under the sun. Are y'all following this? I hope y'all getting a clear understanding and get all this goofy stuff out your hippocampus and get into the science. Just as it is a crime to steal someone's work or ideas and claiming it as yours, claiming it as your own, is also a crime. And to slander someone's reputation is a crime. And we are the only ones that do this. That's why I laugh at a lot of Moors. I only see Negro, blacks, and colors that trying to defame their own law, their own prophets, and their own messiahs in the flesh. That's only Negroes do that. I don't see no European, no different nationality doing this to themselves, doing them to their figures. Do you, ISIS? I don't see no other group of people that to destroy their figures, all the good that some of their figures did. Okay, we all did some dumb stuff in our lower self. That's the grace of Allah. Let us live long enough so you can see our life manifest. But see, we are the only group of people that are just, how can I say, look at the toothpick in someone's eye and you got a log in yours. We don't take the good, and that's what Negroes do. We look at all the bad and I say, well, what about the good? Let's deal with the good and proceed, because we in the flesh. You talk about all this stuff when somebody did dead and gone and they're gone. Man, we in the flesh. Let's go. Let's proceed. But we're the only ones that criticize our own people and then take the teachings of somebody that don't even look like us. That's why I said we conditioned to be some damn slaves mentally. When we talk about plagiarism, the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. Our prophet didn't plagiarize nothing. Plagiarism is theft of another person's writings or ideas. Generally, it occurs when someone steals expressions from another's author's composition and makes them appear to be his own work. Did our prophet plagiarize nothing? Anything? No. He told you it was divinely prepared. That's it. Plagiarism is not a legal term. However, it is often used in lawsuits. Courts recognize acts of plagiarism as violation of copyright law. Are you listening to me? Copyright law, for instance, if I got this Moorish copywritten, just like I use another example when Moorish was arguing about something, and I'll be like, man, you're going to get ate up in court. Both of y'all going to get sued. You better decease right now, because since you make a mockery, if they see you making money, they coming for you. So I saw two Moors arguing over a logo, and it's a Nike logo. I said, man, that's not even yours. That's not even original. That's copyright infringement. Just because you take a logo and put a word on it, the logo is copywritten, man. It's copywritten infringement. You arguing over something that ain't even yours. That's what I'm saying. We supposed to be original, but we take stuff that's others, that's copyright infringement. I don't care if you take 7-Eleven logo and put 5011 over it. You stole a logo. Hell. Defamation, the act of damaging the good reputation of someone, slander or libel. Defamation, any intentional false communication, either written or spoken, that harms a person's reputation, decreases their respect, regard, or confidence in which a person is shared, or induces despairing, hostile, or disagreeable opinions or feeling against a person. Because you disagree with someone, your opinion, not based on facts. And that's what Negroes do. You want to disagree with somebody based on your religion, but not based on facts. Because we lazy, because most of us is not a part of a body. We own some religion. Most of these Moors go to these temples as religion. When I say, what's happening on Sunday school? What are Sunday school lessons? They be like, I don't know. Then I say, what's going on Monday in civics, history, and law? Nothing. I said, well, more science is history and law. I'm like, man, what y'all doing? Having church, eating cookies. I'm telling you facts. I'm going to show y'all when I get on my tour this summer. I'm going to show y'all what's happening in these temples. I'm going to show you nothing. No disrespect to nobody. I'm going to show you what's happening. Absolutely nothing. Sunday school, where it's at. It's no school. Monday, where the civics? Where the history? Where the law? Nothing. Where the economics? Nothing. So how can you have elementary students in your temples failing in school? And we supposed to have a body of teachers and educators. Come on, man. You see, we playing. We having church. Slander, oral defamation, in which someone tells one or more persons an untruth about another, which untruth will harm the reputation of the person defamed. When Moorish used the words called, oh, he an agent, he a COINTEL, because you don't believe what somebody's saying, that makes somebody a COINTEL. And I say, do you really know what a COINTEL agent is? Ron Karinga was a COINTEL agent. Y'all better research what words mean instead of just using words loosely, because words are spells. And when you put those on your own brothers and sisters, when you do that, it's coming right back on you when you're doing it untrue. I guarantee you, because anything that you do is going to come back on you tenfold if you're not honorable and righteous with what you're doing. Because I'm telling you, the atmosphere works together. Y'all better stop playing, man. Because your wisdom is not high enough. You don't understand it. You won't even be a part of a body. You will just believe what somebody's saying because you like them. It's malicious intent. Since such damages are usually difficult to specify and harder to prove, some statements such as an untrue accusation, or having committed a crime, and having a loathsome disease, or being unable to perform one's occupation are treated as slander per se, since the harm and malice are obvious, right? And therefore usually result in general and even punitive damages, recovery by the persons harmed, if you understand that you're a business. So our Moorish Quran, Moorish, that we love, that we supposed to study to heart. When Moors talk about they be going to the temples with the imams, I'm like, what you studying? Because you ain't studying your Moorish Quran. So stop playing with me. Our prophet constructed a book, a holy book. This is what we're supposed to be reading. Yes, we read all the other holy books because we understand the essence. And our Moorish Quran of 1927, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Our prophet Noble Drew Ali published the Holy Quran of Moorish Science, the Holy Quran of Moorish Science Temple, of America in 1927. And he never claimed to have wrote the Holy Quran, nor has he ever claimed to be his own ideas. Our prophet Noble Drew Ali claimed the opposite Moors. And I want to be clear on this. That's why we setting the stage before class start. Noble Drew Ali stated on the cover of this Holy Quran that it was what, Moors? Divinely prepared. Didn't he say that, Isis?
Yep.
So I don't understand what people be making false accusations. When I say slander, that's slander. If somebody wanted to take you to court for slander and defamation of character, well, my God, that's it. And I see so many Moors doing it. I say every Moor that did that. That was the only talk about Noble Drew Ali plagiarized the Holy Quran from the Korean Gospels. And I say, you a lie and a sin. You a lie and a sin. You ain't did no research, and that's all what Negroes do. They always try to defame their own brothers and sisters that look like them with no research. And why? Stop being Gayle King. And that's what we do, because we lazy. He never claimed it. He claimed the opposite. And Noble Drew Ali stated on the cover that is divinely prepared. And the word divine means of or from God. And prepared means to make something. So Isis, if I say I'm getting ready to go in the kitchen and prepare a meal, I ain't say I made all the stuff, the meal was pretty prepared. I already got it. I got the stuff together. If I say I'm finna cook some chicken, I ain't say I went and killed the damn chicken. I said I'm finna prepare the chicken. I bought the damn chicken.
So they misinterpret.
Yeah, they misinterpret it. They taking words out of context. And that's what Negroes do.
Without looking it up.
Without researching it, because they don't want to be students. We get caught up in religious dogma. And we get caught up in he say, she say.
I was just about to say that. They probably heard that from somebody else.
They did. They do. That's what we do. Those are called memes. That's when you see when Negro, blacks, and color and Moors, you see something on the internet, and then you see it on somebody else's page, and then you see it on somebody else's page. They ain't researched nothing. And then when I show them that meme is a lie and a fraud, and then I ask you, why would you put that on your page? Oh, I was just having fun. Well, this ain't for fun. This ain't for fun. You playing. You just posting memes. And due to the name correction in 1928, there are two versions of the Holy Quran. One reads the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, as the other reads the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And both of the pamphlets are from the same organization, founded by our prophet Noble Drew Ali. Inside of it is the same wisdom. So don't let nobody get you caught up in that garbage. Don't let nobody get you caught up in the wordplay. You playing. And I know you ain't read your Quran. And your sheik haven't either. Because when I started going on my tour in the summers, I'm going to tell you what's happening in the temples. That's why they won't play nothing in the temple. Because they in there playing. They in there singing Kumbaya. They in there singing Amazing Grace. I'm telling you, man. And then we get to the Levi Dowling's Aquarian Gospels of Jesus Christ. That was published December 1908. And he said, and I quote, I transcribed the text of the book of Korean Gospels from the Akashic records. Do y'all hear me? So when any more Negro, black, and color or somebody trying to go against our Noble Drew Ali teachings, this is the first thing what Negroes try to do. They always try to diss somebody before they came into the light. Malcolm X had a past. Everybody have a past. And that's what Negroes want to do. If you was gone before you was righteous, what would your book say? If I was gone before I made my transition, what would my book say? Come on, man. Come on, man. From darkness come light. And Levi Dowling, Aquarian Gospels of Jesus Christ, published December 1st, 1908. He said, and I quote, I transcribed the text of the book, Aquarian Gospels, from the Akashic Records. Now go tell them Negro, Black, and Color, and anybody that's want to make videos on YouTube that say our Prophet Noble Drew Ali plagiarized Aquarian Gospels. And I bet you they ain't going to give you this research because all they want to do is program learning. A scholar give you something to compare to be like, wait a minute. All you've been feeding me is oranges, and you say an orange tastes like an apple? Well, I had an apple, and I like apples better than oranges. Are you following me? You have nothing to compare to. You have no science. That's program learning. That's religious dogma. That's a motive. The science liberates. Are you following me? Levi Dowling, he said, I transcribed the text of the book Aquarian Gospels from the Akashic Records, a purported compilation of the mystical knowledge encoded in a non-physical plane of existence. And therefore, Mr. Levi Downing, too, has claimed that the information in the book was not his own. So, let me get back to my, where I put my Aquarian, my Unto the Eye grant. Where did I put that book at, Isis? Let me see. Here it goes. So now we go back to this. Now we go back to this science right here, right? So now we're going to go back to the Unto the Eye grant, Moorish. Now watch this. Now watch this science. I want y'all to study because you got to take this piece by piece. You cannot want too much at one time because you're not going to catch it. That's why I give little by, principality on principality. Here a little, there a little. You must be willing to be a student and learn systematically. Just like when we studied Wing Chun, when I was working on the wooden dummy. Man, that take time. So, Sir Ramatherios, Unto the Eye Grant. This was published in 1928. And Sir Ramatherios, as well as the Rosicrucian Order. It stated out that the mysteries of the past comes this unique book, Unto the Eye Grant, was written 2,000 years ago, but was hidden in manuscripts from the eyes of the world and given only to the initiates of the temples in Tibet to study privately. And therefore, Mr. Sir Ramatherio, too, has claimed that the information in this book was not of his own. So, if he said that hidden was, oh man, this, look, Morris, watch this. He said that the initiates of the temples in Tibet had this, and they were studying it privately. And they were studying it privately, right? What do the introduction of our Moorish Quran state? What do the introduction of our Moorish Quran state? I told y'all I'm gonna build y'all up to show you our prophet, what he did. Listen, man. The genealogy of Jesus with 18 years of the events, life, works, and teachings in India, Europe, and Africa. These events occurred before he was 30 years of age. These secret lessons are for all of those who love Jesus and desire to know about his life, works, and teachings. The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secrets and kept them back from the outside world. And when the time appointed by Allah, they loosened the keys and freed these secrets. And for the first time in ages, have all these secrets been delivered in the hands of Muslims in America. All authority and rights of publishing of the pamphlet of 1927. I just read it to you. So here I just showed you, I just read it to you, I just showed you in our Rosicrucian manual from Unto the Eye Grant, where it tells you that Sir Ramathru said, he told you that the world, these science was hidden from them, and it was hidden in manuscripts formed from the eyes of the world and given only to the initiates of the temples in Tibet to study privately. What do the Moorish Quran just say? I just told you. I just told you. The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslim of India, Egypt, and Palestine had the secrets and kept them back from the outside world. That's too simple. That's too simple. So what more science you studying? You lying on the prophet and you lying on everything because you're not studying. That's why. Because you're going around just posting stuff on the internet. You got to be honest, man. You only know what if Moors talk about they got sheiks and this, and if your sheik is an idiot, no disrespect to nobody. If your sheik don't have a library, only thing you know is what that sheik teaching you. And if he teaching you Scooby-Doo, that's all you gonna know is Scooby-Doo. If he ain't teaching you no real science, so you got to be honest with these teachings, man. I don't respect nobody because they old. I don't have no time just to be meeting nobody if we ain't building, really, just talking. I don't have time for that. Our divinely prepared in 1927, our Moorish Quran, within the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Prophet Noble Drew Ali says exactly where he received the teachings within the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. On page 3, what does it read on page 3? The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secrets and kept them back from the outside world. This is simple, man. Our Prophet Noble Drew Ali is referring to these teachings, our ancient teachings, in which he does not take credit for, and neither does Levi Downey, and neither does Sir Ramatho. With much respect, in addition, according to the legal definition, the denotative definition, the etymological definition of plagiarism, as well as the words of the authors of these sources, Prophet Noble Drew Ali did not plagiarize the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And according to the Rosicrucians, it is not the originator of the information provided in the book Unto Thee I Grant. This is what I be telling Moorish. You got to deal with the science. Out of the mysteries of the past comes this antique book that was written 2,000 years ago, but was hidden in manuscript from the eyes of the world and given unto the initiates in the temple of Tibet to study privately. Don't y'all know what this book is all about? Or we going to break this down when class start. According to the Aquarian Gospels, Levi Downey stated that he meditated in the quietest hour, which is 3 a.m. And then he received access to the Akashic records, in which he transcribed the lessons he received. So if that's the case, all he did is transcribed. That's all he did is transcribed. So according to his book, he wasn't nothing but a transcriber. And that's what he was known to his followers as a transcriber. Man, you need to research what a transcriber really consists of. And I question 17, what is our religion? Islamism. This ain't nothing new. This is nothing new, Moors. It's nothing new. The Mohammedan faith among our people in the United States is considered by them in terms as something new. But this is not new. None of this is new, man. None of this stuff that I'm talking about is new, Moors. So next, I know every Moor got all their books. Because I want to give you some clear understanding on some things. When we specifically talk about our Moorish Quran, in chapter 1 of our Moorish Quran, the creation and fall of man, and no finite mind can comprehend things infinite, and all infinite things are subject unto change. All finite things will cease to be, because there was a time when they were not. So the bodies and the souls of men are finite things, and they will change. From finite point of view, the time will come when they will be no more. But man himself is not the body, nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. Right? So as it goes down in the verse, I'm going to go to why did the creative fate give to spirit man a soul, that he might function on the plane of the soul? And why did creative fate give to soul a body, a flesh, that he might function on the plane of the things that are made manifest? Hear ye now, ye cherubim, ye seraphim, ye angels, and ye men. Hear now, O protoplast, and earth, and plant beasts. Hear now, ye creeping things of the earth, ye fish that swim, and the birds that fly. Right? But man, like every other thought of Allah, was but a seed, and a seed that held within itself the potencies, the attributes of Allah, just as the seed of any plant of earth holds deep within itself the attributes of every part of that special plant. So spirit man, as seed of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of Allah. So spirit man, as seed of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of Allah. Now seeds are perfect as the source from which they come, but they are not unfold into the life made manifest. So just because a seed is in the womb, we have to nurture that seed. We have to get all the weeds out of it before it can grow up, before it can be what it's supposed to be, my Moorish brothers. We must nurture the seed. So if we want to teach this science, we must be speaking sweet to our empresses and our children and the family for they can get it. And if you can't speak like that, you need to be part of a right branch. That's why I'm doing these teachings for the public today. One of my elders hit me up and was like, Noble, he was like, you a tree. And if they understand who you are, they should want a branch, that they should want a leaf to fall off your tree. And if they can rub against your tree and get some of the bark off of you, this is elders. These is people that's been in this science for years. I have elders and I have a lot of people that I deal with from Oxford and Cambridge, all different nationalities, all different parts of life, scholarship. So this Moorish Quran is synchronizing us. Page 5 of our Moorish Quran. I'm still in chapter 1. On page 5. I want you to read this when you go. You got to read this. That's chapter 1. You got to read all of this. I'm giving an introduction. Perfect man must pass through all the ways of life. So you can't be in your higher self to where you forget to be who you are. Oh, you don't do this anymore. That's great. But you must be righteous. You must be in the world, but not of the world. You can be in this world, but you don't have to participate in certain things. You can be an observer. You can be a person where they see light and want to come to you because your light is shining. Your vibration is vibrating so highly. Everywhere I go, I'm saved. I take my wife to comedy shows. I like to dance. I like singing. I'm a real person. I like to have a glass of wine. What? See, we be thinking God, we let people give us this false image of God. And our teaching says that God works through man. How can you say you love God and you never seen him and you hate man and you see every day? When you see man, you see God. You done got this false image of something that's so holier than thou. That's the problem. We must be honorable and noble because we in the flesh. But perfect man must pass through all the ways of life. And so a carnal was full manifest, a nature that sprang forth from fleshly things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. And thou must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight. That's your lower self. That he might be the strength of Allah made manifest, Moors. Let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest, or protoplasm, or mineral, of plant, beast, but he given up his birthrights just to gratify his lower self, Moors. But man will regain his lost estate, his heritage, but he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words, Moors. Yet he must suffer trials and temptations manifold, but let him know that cherubim and seraphim, that rule, that station, you, of the Son and Spirit of the mighty Allah, who rule the solar stars, are his protectors and his guide, and they will lead to victory. That's our Moorish American prayer. Our prayer: Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, by night, by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Come on, man, you should know this like the back of your head. We be led through victory. No, I ain't say a weapon won't be formed against you, but it won't prosper because we are the weapon. I told y'all, we are. If you understand your arcana, we can use the knife to cut the poison out or to slice your head off. That's your arcana about being an adept, about being a true alchemist. Everything is inside.
The workmanship tools.
Huh?
The workmanship tools.
Yeah, your workman tools. That's right. When man has conquered all these fleshly things, man will fully be saved, redeemed, perfected by the things he suffers on the plane of flesh. We're trying to be the perfected man. We suffer on the plane of the flesh and on the plane of the soul. And when man has conquered carnal things, his garb of flesh will then have served his purpose. It will serve your purpose well, and it will fall. And it will be no more. What? Those principalities, those things that you say are weaknesses. Then he will stand untrembled on the plane of the soul, where he must complete his victories. Unnumbered foes will stand before man upon the plane of the soul, and there he must overcome. Ye overcome them, everyone. Thus hope will ever be his beacon, that beacon of light, and there is no failure for the human soul, for Allah is leading. On the victory is true, Moors. That's why man cannot die, and the spirit man is one with Allah. And while Allah lives, man cannot die. Energy just transfers. And when man has conquered every foe upon the plane of the soul, the seed will have full opened out or budded per se, and will have unfolded in the holy breath. And the garb of the soul will then have served its purpose well. And man will need, and you won't need that fleshly stuff anymore. And it will pass and be no more. And man and woman will be attained unto the blessedness, or to the blessedness, the blessedness, the perfectness, and that one with the great God Allah. That's just chapter 1 of your Moorish Quran. So, as we saying that, because we're not even going to, we're prefacing part 2. We're going to preface every book, because I'm going to show you how to study, and I'm going to show you how you missing every single thing that you think you know. So students, get your Quranic study guide, open this up, because I got to give you preface. We got to introduce the books. See, this is the thing that I know a lot of Moors don't do. A lot of people never read the preface of any book. And I tell you, get the preface of the Holy Name Bible. Get the Holy Name Bible, the preface, and read that first. And then have a conversation with me. Get you the Holy Name Bible, put it up on the internet, and read the preface of the Holy Name Bible. It's going to blow your mind. I guarantee you. So, I'm going to give a little introduction of our study guide. I'm starting on page 7 just to give us an introduction, because we got to break our books down before we get into the teachings. We just don't jump into stuff. But the organization of this study guide is to break the Moorish Holy Quran into 2 sections: divine salvation and earthly salvation. That's the SO and the XO. When I tell Moors, you dissing stuff, because all the time people just teaching you the exoteric. They're not teaching you the SO. Divine salvation refers chapter 1 to 19 of the Moorish Holy Quran through the story of life, works, and teachings of our prophet Jesus. It instructs us on the unity of Allah, metaphysics. And I'm using Jesus just the name that Prophet Noble Drew Ali used. I'm in the flesh. I'm going to teach you. It never was a J in the Hebrew dialect. Noble Drew Ali used Jesus because that's what Negro, blacks, and colors was used to. But see, I'm a teacher and a scholar. It never was a J in the Hebrew dialect. These are facts. And these are things that can be proven. But it instructs us on the unity of Allah, metaphysics, the ethers, the origin of man, prayer, and the essential teachings for building up a spiritual and moral foundation upon which to interact with nature, people, organizations, and governments. Right? That's why when we anchored this section with the meaning of prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius, the section summarized their histories and the essential teachings. The latter part, why did our Prophet Noble Drew Ali select these prophets? And we expound on how their teachings are building blocks for the temple of purity, the ultimate goal being oneness with Allah. Earthly salvation, reference chapter 20 to 48 of the Moorish Holy Quran. And these chapters instruct us how to manifest the spiritual insight acquired by studying the chapters within the divine salvation section. I'm going to show you how we do this as a group. None of this can be done by yourself. You think it can. It instructions on knowledge of self, family, and social duties, history, worldview, nationality, and our purpose. That's why I warn every reader when you go into things, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good, peace, and happiness for all those that love Yahshua. Dear mothers, teach these lessons to your little ones, that they may learn to love instead of hate. Dear fathers, by these lessons, you can set your house in order, and your children will learn to love instead of hate. That's in your Moorish Quran, page 3. So to enhance understanding of the various verses within the Moorish Holy Quran, we got to understand the development of a matrix of Quranic verses with cross-reference of both the Holy Quran and the Bible. When I did yesterday, I'm going to show y'all as we go into teachings. We're going to synchronize all these teachings so you can show Negro, blacks, and color that they're lying, that they're not teaching the right way. And every verse of the Moorish Holy Quran was not cross-referenced. Right? But I'm going to show y'all all the cross-reference that you can do in the Moorish Quran, you can cross-reference to the biblical scriptures. That's going to be my book that's coming out with me and my dad, putting out the 101 questions you can ask a Moorish American on nationality, spirituality, and history. Every Quranic verse in the Moorish Quran, I'm giving you a Bible verse of that to show you how it's synchronized. Every one. I'm almost done. I probably got about a couple more months to put it together to show you that somebody lying to you. And I can show you in the Quran, like in Surah 90:97, how when it's talking about the pale Arabs, when you get it's two different sciences. But we'll talk about that later when I tell y'all this is American Islam. But to enhance understanding of various verses within the Moorish Quran, we developed this matrix that you can cross-reference the Bible study, the Bible and the Quran. Right? Right? But for the Holy Quran, Moors, I use one of the Mulani Muhammad translations. And for the Bible, I use the King James Version. I have all Bibles. I got the Holy Name Bible, the God Name Bible. I don't care. I can use any one. I got the 1599 Geneva Bible where it says Blackamoor. Don't say Ethiopian, African, or nothing. The 1599 Geneva Bible says Blackamoor all through it. But the earthly salvation section also includes a chapter dedicated to the key quotes from our Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Marcus Garvey on the subject of earthly salvation. And the chapter after is focused on the two roadblocks to our earthly salvation, seeking power without force and names before principles. So in the later chapters on earthly salvation, we also added a catechism like the Quranic questionnaire, the 101s. And we noticed that many students of the Moorish Quran miss the invisible string that binds or ties these chapters together, the catechism format. And I hope will help highlight the key building blocks of our earthly salvation taught to us through our prophets, divine instructions within these chapters, Moors. For our earth salvation to become manifest, Moorish American Muslims need to be on the same page when it comes to the fundamental principles that the Prophet laid out for us. And of course, act accordingly. And I pray this small contribution that I'm going to teach, that I'm giving to the society, that Allah placed it on me to develop this school to help us in our endeavor. Right? So that's just the introduction. So we're going to start, like I said, next week we're going to start the introduction of the Moorish Quran. We're going to start on verses 1 to 19. So I want y'all to go over that. That's homework. Chapter 1 and 19. Chapter 1 and 9. Chapter 1. Your Moorish Quran, chapter 1, it's pages 1 to 19. That's going to be the homework for the next lesson. So, as we spoke upon that, remember I said the catechism for understanding your Moorish Quran? This is right here. This is the catechism for understanding the Moorish Quran. Chapter 20 to 45. Chapter 20 to 45, right? When Moors be getting stuff twisted. And I'm like, man, I don't know what Moors talking about. But they ain't talking about no more science. That's for a fact. So in our Moorish Quran, chapter 20 to 24, it speaks on family values. Chapter 25 to 30, community foundations. 31 to 35, codes of conduct. 36 to 44, knowledge of self. 45 to 47, our history. And all that is our earthly salvation. Those are the 5 pillars. I just broke it down. But from chapter 9 of our Quranic study guide, the Moorish Quran questionnaire and answers. Catechism for understanding your Moorish Quran. What 5 principles did Jesus manifest in his life? See, this is how people be lying to y'all. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Are there examples of Jesus manifesting these principles of love? The only Savior in the world is love. And Jesus, son of Mary, comes to manifest that love. That's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 2 and 21. So if any more don't like what I'm saying, you don't like your Moorish Quran. Truth, Jesus, which is Yahshua, left the wilderness and in the consciousness of holy breath. That's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 15, verse 17, and chapter 7, verse 10. Peace. Jesus taught Islam, which means peace with all on earth. That's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 13 and 7, chapter 10, verse 9 and 10. Freedom. Yahshua came to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke of the law. That's in your Moorish Quran, 43 and 3, 12 and 21 to 23. Justice. Jesus means justice. All master men judge men by what they are and not what they seem to be. That's in your Moorish Quran, 9 and 10, 9 and 31 to 32. Who else manifested these 5 principles in life? The Prophet Noble Ali, who was prepared and sent by Allah to teach the old-time religion. That's in our Moorish Quran, chapter 47 and 3. Allah to teach our old-time religion. Who does the Prophet instruct to manifest these 5 principles in life? All Moorish Americans. Chapter 47, 13, and 14. What'd you say, Isis?
I say everyone.
That's right. How do we know he manifested them? The teacher treads the way on every span of the ground. He leaves his footprints clearly cut. That's in your Moorish Quran, 4 and 16. Where are the Prophet's footprints? The Moorish Holy Quran, the Quranic questionnaire, the divine constitution, the bylaws, all the Prophet's literature, and its illustrious acts. Right? So I want y'all to study. That's homework too in our catechism. I hope y'all writing this down. I want you to go over in our catechism, your homework, and your catechism. I hope y'all writing this down because I'm giving out homework assignments. The next homework assignment is for you in your catechism for understanding the Moorish Quran. I want you to go over one of your pillars, and it's your family values. I want you to go over your family values. Family values, Moors. Y'all follow me? That's in that one. That's in that piece of literature. Because everything ain't going to be systematic. I guarantee you. You're going to love this. You're going to love school. You're going to be able to go over this with your children and everything. So also in your Quranic study, I said chapter 1 is the introduction to the Moorish Holy Quran, pages 1 to 19. That's in here. This in your Quranic study guide. That's your homework. Chapter 1, the introduction to the Moorish Holy Quran. We're going to go over this whole Quran systematically. That's why I told Moors, if you're going to be in a rush, you're not meditating on it. We're going to break this down. We got to dissect it. So in the Quranic study guide, chapter 1, the introduction to the Moorish Holy Quran. So I'm going to get some water, log back on, because we got 3 more books we're going to talk about. And then that's going to be it. Islam. Log back on.